What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Drive Talk Cars. So in today's video, we are going to be once again blacking out my front grille on my E63. So let's get started. So when I first got the car, I did black out the front grille and the hood ornament using PLASTIDIP. It worked pretty good, but I eventually took it off. So now I'm revisiting it using a product called HyperDip. And HyperDip is supposed to be like the next generation of removable vinyl. So we're gonna give it a try and see how it turns out. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the grille. You don't have to remove it. The first time I did it with the PLASTIDIP, I didn't remove it and it came out okay. It's just, you have a little bit of overspray and you have to worry about masking off the car. So grille is easy to come out, so I'm just gonna do that. So I'm not going to give a step-by-step on how to remove the grille. I did that in another video, and I have the link to that video down in the description if you want to see the step-by-step. But for this video, I'm just going to take it off, and then we can get started using the HyperDip. Alright, so now that we have the grille off, we can go ahead and clean it up before we start the painting process, and then we'll get started. As I mentioned earlier, I discovered a product called HyperDip, and it supposedly is the replacement or the better version of PLASTIDIP. We will see in a few minutes if that's true, but it pretty much goes on the same way, 6 to 8 coats. You want to make sure you have a clean surface. Obviously you want that. You can spray 4 to 6 inches away from the surface. You start off with 3 to 4 light coats just to make that foundation so it has something to stick to, and then you'll let it dry for about 8 hours. So pretty standard stuff. But one thing that they really emphasize with the HyperDip is the humidity. The humidity will affect the way it comes out smooth and shiny, so you want to be under 50% humidity. Today pretty good. It's around 78 degrees or something like that. Not a bad day. The only thing is it is breezy. They also mentioned you may not want to do it in a breezy environment, so I'm doing it in the garage. Another thing that I got from them is the pre-dip spray. It's pretty much the prep spray that you would put on there before spraying the color coat. That way you can ensure that it's clean. It gets rid of all the oils and any type of contamination that may be on the surface. As far as instructions, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Spray on a generous amount of the pre-dip spray on the surface of whatever you're painting, and then spray some on your microfiber cloth. Make sure it's fully dry and you're good to go. So we're gonna start with the pre-dip spray, followed by the HyperDip. And the color that I chose was Piano Gloss Black. Let's get into it. So I just placed my grill down on a piece of vinyl, use a tarp, whatever you want. I do have it inside the garage because it is a windy day. And I have the doors open because I want to make sure that I have plenty of ventilation, because you want to treat it just like it was paint and you don't want to take in these harmful vapors. So let's get started. So just using regular paper towel or shop paper towel, I'm going to clean off the surface. Shake it up a little bit. That's great, the nozzle fell off, but I'm sure it goes back on. There we go. All right, just shake it up. Spray a generous amount on the surface. Let that thing foam up. You want to make sure that you get all the cracks, like around this emblem here, because you want it to be completely dry. And this is not, real chrome. It's more chrome plated. It is plastic, so the surface may not be smooth like if it was, real metal. So don't expect the surface to be that smooth from the HyperDip, because if your surface is not smooth, then it can't be that smooth either. All right, so I think we're ready to paint now. It looks all nice and clean. I have my HyperDip. You want to shake it well for probably about a minute or so. Want to really hear that ball in there mixing it up, and then after that we'll start applying. Remember, you want to do 3 to 4 coats of light dusting across the entire surface just to get a foundation. So let's get going. All right, so it's been about a minute. Let's start spraying. So what I like to do is just test spray, just to make sure it's coming out nice, no splotches or anything like that. So this looks good. All right, here we go. What I like to do is shake in between, just to make sure everything is still stirred up in there. We'll make sure to get the top part here. Okay, so once you do your first coat, you're gonna let it dry fully before proceeding on to the next coat. However, the instructions didn't say how long that is before it will be dry, but I'm thinking it's between maybe 10 to 15 minutes. PLASTIDIP, I think, is about 10 minutes in between coats. So we'll do that and then we'll check back. If not dry, then we'll wait maybe 20, 25, 30 minutes. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes and it's dry to the touch, so I think we can proceed on to the next coat. So this is going to be my second light dusting coat. And then after that, we're going to do one more dusting and then we're going to go into our wet coat. So it's starting to come together. With the second coat, you can start seeing it build up and get darker. There's still some spots that you can see through, and that's okay, because like I said, it's the second dusting. We'll do one more of these and then we'll do the wet coat. So if you haven't done so already, check out drivetalkcars.com. That way you can get your own merch just like this. I have hoodies, t-shirts, jet tags, and stickers. So check it out. Back to the video. All right, time's up. So as you can see, it's already starting to get shiny and give that glossy finish. And that's only after 2. So I can only imagine after 6 coats or 6 to 8 coats, whatever works, how glossy it's going to be. So let's continue on. I won't do too much talking in between these coats, and we'll do one more dusting and then we go into our wet coat. Alright, so we have finished painting. I did about 8 to 9 coats, I believe. Kind of lost count. I definitely went through one can and I did one coat with another can. So kind of gives you an idea of how many cans you're going to need. I would say definitely get at least 2 cans. We're going to let it dry for 8 hours. We're going to come back tomorrow. As you see, it has gotten dark. So we'll come back tomorrow and see what we get. All right, so as you can see, it's the next morning and we're going to check out how the grill came out. So all in all, it came out really good. I do have a little issue right here, but it's kind of not my fault. A bug landed on the surface when it was drying, and I guess I couldn't see it and painted over it, so now I have a bug in there. But other than that, it's a lot smoother than PLASTIDIP, and it's already shiny, unlike PLASTIDIP where you need to have glossifier to make it have that shiny glossy look. So we're gonna put it back on the car and then we're gonna move on to the hood ornament. So we got the grill back in, it's looking really good. We're gonna hit up the hood ornament with the HyperDip, and then we'll see the final results of both. Taking off the hood and ornament is very easy. There's a locking mechanism underneath the ornament. You just twist it with some pliers, especially if you haven't taken it off before, and then it will come up through the top, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So just taking some vice grips, I'm going to put them around here and turn it left. And you can see it turn it all the way. Then you can pull it up and through. So here's the locking mechanism I was talking about. So you turn it one way, it locks. Turn it the other way, it unlocks. Alright, so we finished spraying the hood ornament and it looks good. So we're gonna let this dry and then come back and put it on and see what we have. So we let the emblem dry and it came out really good. Probably even better than the grill. So I'm just gonna put this back on, and I didn't let it dry the whole 8 hours. It's dry to the touch right now, but I think the whole 8 hours is just before you do any type of washing it or anything like that. For now, I'm gonna put it back on there so I don't scratch it and get any type of damage to it. So just like we took it off, we're gonna put it back in. And then you wanna make sure you hold it at the top here. Then we're gonna turn and lock it in place. I'm gonna use my pliers just to do a final turn. So you wanna make sure that this is facing straight to make sure that it's in there good and locking all the way. So there you have it. It's not perfect. It's a lot better than the PLASTIDIP with the glossifier, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I have a link to these products as well. So all in all, I give HyperDip, I would say maybe an 8 out of 10. And I'll probably use it again on some of my emblems. And you can also do it on your wheels, so I may do that. We'll see. If you like this video, please give me that thumbs up. And remember, do it until you can't. Until next time, I'm out.